Mary Lou Novak with Resource, the number 4, Care. And what we do is interview healthcare, wellness, and professionals who help folks navigate aging. We introduce them and bring them in for interviews and put these recordings up on the internet for folks like you to view and to share. It's free and it's brought to you by our sponsors. So if you go to resource, the number 4care.com, I think right now I have about 78 different recordings and it's growing every single week. So find something you're interested in, click on it, and it'll bring you right to the recording. And it won't collect your information, it'll just bring you right to the recording. Now you also can find us on Facebook. Look for Resource space 4 and Care, and like us and follow us is the most important thing, because as we post new events or new recordings, we will put a notice up there. And so if you're following us, you'll get to see that something new has come up. And if it interests you, then you can click on it and go right to the website again. So find Resource for Care on Facebook, go to our website, click on anything that interests you, and just sit back and listen to Mid-South area local professionals talk on all types of topics on aging and care and well-being. Today we have Leanne Morris with us, and Leanne specializes in getting people from one place to another, and she's going to explain more about that. She specializes in helping people make decisions that sometimes are hard to make as well, and her company is called All Things New.
Yeah.
So I'd like you to share your thought behind the name of the business first.
Okay.
Because I know there's a story that goes with that.
There is a story. So I was with a group of ladies. We were at a women's retreat, and a dear friend of mine that is from England was speaking at the retreat, and it was a complete surprise. She was not expected to be in town. So the whole event was, the ladies didn't know she was coming, so it was a surprise all the way around. And I was there trying to find a name for my business, and I had been praying about it, and I just couldn't settle on anything. And she stood up and she was talking, and she read scripture from Revelation 21, 1 through 5. And in verse 5, it says, "Behold, I make all things new." And the words trustworthy and true are in that verse. And those were the things I was praying about, because I wanted the Lord to be able to communicate, or my name to communicate, that the people that I was going to work with could trust me with the process. And so I picked the name All Things New as a result of my friend Daphne. It was amazing. Yeah.
I just loved hearing that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you got to share it with everyone.
Thank you. So it was very special.
So I know we've known each other, more than 10 years now.
Long time
gone?
I know.
And you started out with helping people just downsize, not just, but downsize. Mm-hmm. And things have evolved from there.
Absolutely.
But the topic we're talking about today is right-sizing your home and lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what made you choose that topic, and what's the significance of that? And then we can get into some details.
Okay. So as I've walked people through the process in downsizing, it is a complete lifestyle change. It's not just moving from one home to another.
It's not just redecorating.
No, it's not. It's not just that. It's the, as you and I have used the term many, many times, adjusting to a new normal. And so when you move from a great big home to a smaller home, and you're no longer cooking every meal and washing loads of clothes every day and doing all these other things, you have more time on your hands, but how do you make the best of that time? And so through the process, I have tried to encourage my clients to look at it that way, to see their new normal as a truly new time period that you're walking into and
Right.
to enjoy your life now.
Yes.
You've accomplished all the big things. You've done these amazing things. And so now take the reward that you have,
Right.
reap that reward, and now do something fun with it.
Right. And I think, tell me if I'm wrong, but a lot of people sometimes view it as being less, right? Because they're in this big place and they're moving to something smaller.
Right.
But I think the way that you're approaching it really helps them understand that you're just matching it to your current lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's actually a step up.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
So help us understand that. How do you convey that to
Okay.
the people you're working with? How do you help them make that shift? Because I think you're almost like a lifestyle coach or a life coach in that regard, right?
Yes, yeah. So through personal experience, my husband and I lived in a 3,800 square foot house, and we have downsized now to 1,300 square feet. So I can speak from experience in knowing the time. I laugh when I think about the time that it would take me to get from my bedroom to my kitchen
Yes.
before. And I would get frustrated. And now I'm like, oh, I'm right around the corner. I come out my bedroom door, I walk down the hall, and it's right there.
Yes.
And I just think of the conveniences that I have now that I
Yes.
didn't have then. But then I had kids in my home, and my house needed to be bigger.
Right. It
But
fit your lifestyle. at
it
the
fit
time.
my lifestyle. But now this fits my lifestyle, and we
Right.
live in 1,300 square feet, and we do have a detached garage that we use for our basement. For our office, and we do have a basement, so we have plenty of room for storage.
Yes.
But the concept is to live with less and enjoy life more.
Right.
And so by doing it myself, I can convey it to other people and truly speak from experience and say, you know, you might miss some of the things temporarily, but once they're gone and you're moved on with your new life, you'll know that you've enjoyed it and had an experience with it, but now it's time to do something new.
Yeah, I wrote down what you said because I think that's a lovely phrase. Live with less and enjoy life more.
Yeah.
That should be on the side of your truck.
Good idea. I think I'll do it. Good idea.
Really. And it's funny that you say that. This morning I was not rushing, but just trying to get things done. And you've been to my place, and my kitchen's all the way at one end and my bedroom's at the other. And I wanted to make myself a cup of tea and let it brew while I was finishing getting ready. And I was consciously thinking to myself, this is ridiculous. I am walking it felt like a city block
Yeah.
to get to my tea.
Yes. Yeah.
And then worried that I'm getting ready. Is it sitting there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever? I have no idea because it's all the way on the other side.
Yep. Yep.
It's funny that you
totally
mentioned
understand that. Yeah.
Yes.
But
you
it
don't
just
think of those things
Yeah.
until you start to downsize.
right.
And how
Yeah.
easy it is just to
Yeah.
make yourself a cup of tea.
Yeah. Yeah. I can hear it when the microwave goes off.
Yes.
And I can come get it. So yeah.
I am down the hall, through a door, through a bathroom door.
Yeah, and her house is lovely, by the way. But yes, but true. Yeah.
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 We
But
don't
yeah.
need all that space. It's just the two of us.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and one of the benefits too for us and for the people that we move to communicate is the less, less in cost, less in the tripping hazards, the stairs, the maintenance, the cleaning, the yard work. I'm reading this off. And then you get to adjust to energy for family, friends, and hobbies, and even think about other things that you would like to do that you haven't had time to do
Yes.
because you're walking from your bedroom all the way over there to get your tea.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, I could have done something with that 10 seconds.
Well, too, I mean, so we were about to leave town, and unexpectedly my cousin called me and said, you know, my mom's not well. She lives only not too far from you. And I can't stay with her. Can I stay with you? Now, when you're in the mode of leaving the house for a trip, you haven't vacuumed, you haven't.
Yeah.
So
It's
now I'm
not
thinking to
ready.
myself, I have to run around like a crazy person and at least feel comfortable with
Yeah.
someone staying in my home while I'm not there.
Yeah.
And that's another time where I said, what the heck why am I,
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
all this maintenance, all this
Yeah,
time?
all this crazy stuff. Yeah. And like we were saying, it's great when you have kids and you want the
Yes.
space, but now,
It's good to throw a party or something.
oh, absolutely.
But
Yeah,
other than that-
absolutely. But
Yeah.
but now to have smaller and be able to do more
So how
is,
do you get, we've talked about it, but somebody who's And sometimes it's not their choice.
Right.
You know, health things have happened maybe with a spouse or themselves or whatever, and now they're having to make this shift, but they're not, it maybe wasn't even their choice, or it was their choice because they had to,
Right.
or felt like they had to.
Yes.
How do you help them? Like, what are the things that people can think about or that you help them be aware of to try to make that shift so that by the time you're done, they are happy?
Yeah, so, you know, gently moving through the process and helping them realize the things they won't need any longer, and use it as a celebration, not oh, I sure hate it that I can't use my KitchenAid mixer anymore. You know, I can buy a handheld. And then the benefit of that is that it's easy to put away and it's easy to pick up, because I love my KitchenAid, but it is heavy.
Yes.
And so just little things like that, just trying to talk them through the reality.
So do you bring that up?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you
because
actually have that dialogue with them.
absolutely, yeah. Anything, many things,
Won't
and
it be so easy just to,
yeah,
you know, clean this and put it away?
yeah, and
Okay.
and it's it takes up less space in your cabinet, and because if you're moving to a smaller space, you'll need that space, and just literally walking through the process. I can give you an example too for my husband and I when we were downsizing. I put out all of our casserole dishes on the cabinet. And I told him, pick 3. I said, pick different sizes, but pick 3. And he picked 3, and we have never needed more than 3. And it's little things like that that make such a huge difference. Pick the one that means the most to you if there's memories attached, and then pick 2 more that are different
like
sizes.
A special Corella that they don't make any longer.
Right, or something your parents gave you, you know, things like that.
Yes.
But basically, logically, just try to think, how much of these things will you be using now, and just try to downsize as a whole. Even clothing, shoes, you know, because like I can't wear heels anymore because I have a messed up toe, but it's okay. But it's like even little things like that, like think about how many of those things that you truly need. If you have nice work shoes and you don't work anymore, do you wear those shoes? No. So then either, you know, you can sell them, you can gift them to someone, you can do something else with it, but there's no reason to pay to heat and cool a box of shoes.
Is there things that you ask people to do before you arrive? Things,
Yes.
like what's your, I don't want to give all your trade secrets
No,
away.
no, it's okay.
But what are some of the things, because we're here to educate, what are some of the things that you ask, either shift in thinking or physical things that you ask people to do or think about before you come?
Okay, so one of the things we'll do is ask them to pick out their favorite pieces of furniture. You know, because a lot of times if they're moving to a smaller space, we'll go in with the floor plan and lay it out, and then get the furniture, like cut the furniture to size, put it on the paper, and show them how it fits.
So you do that with them?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
yeah.
wonderful.
So one of the things that we try to encourage them to do is go through and pick out your favorite things, and then we're going to try our best to take those. Pick your favorite pictures, your favorite art, your favorite decorative things, and let's start with those. And then the other is just fluff, and if it's not needed, then we'll do something else with that.
So it kind of gives you a decision-making hierarchy when you come in, because they've been thinking about this already.
And then we just have, you know, like I'll say, if you have 4 sets of china, because a lot of people have your mom's, yours, your dad's, your grandmother's, and so everybody wants to keep a little bit of it. And we've even had clients pick out like 2 plates from each of the different pieces, and then keep some of all of it, and then when you set it on the table, tell the story about all the different pieces, instead of, oh, I have to have all of it matching. You don't.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a shift in mindset. You know, I don't even know if this relates, but I had an really old home. It's about 170 years old. Not now, at one point. And the floor plan was going to be really weird if I didn't take out part of the wall, and it was a stone house. So,
oh wow,
yeah, I was resisting making the window into a door because I didn't want to change the feel of that integrity. But I don't know how I made the shift, but the shift I made was me changing that is part of the story of the house.
Oh. Yeah,
right?
see,
It
yeah, that's a
wasn't-
great idea.
Right, so it was no longer, well, I had to take out that part of that wall.
Yeah.
It was, well, when my family came, we added a kitchen on,
Yeah.
and we made that window into a wall. It became part of the story.
Yeah. Oh, see, that's a wonderful way to
Yeah.
look at it. Yeah, I like
But
that.
it was a way to make a thought shift.
Right.
How do you help family members? It could be themselves or somebody else who's resistant. You know, they really are attached to their things. How do you help them with that? I mean, how do you?
Yeah, so it's kind of the basic part of how much will fit. And so we've taken some clients that have moved into small spaces and they do really well and they don't take much at all. And then you'll have another client that takes everything that they possibly can and a little more. And you're trying to help them get through.
Yes.
And so part of it is it's kind of a downsizing process in and of itself. So you start with everything that you have and you cull out what you can live without. And then you move. Sometimes people will move and then they'll get rid of more once they move because
Okay.
they have to see for themselves that it won't fit. And
Right.
then you can get rid of some more things. And then there's usually one more time once you get in and you get settled and you realize that you're not using this thing at all.
And you've gotten some practice then.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
In downsizing and
Yeah.
and you realize that your arm isn't going to fall off.
Exactly.
If you give something away.
Yeah,
'Cause
absolutely.
that's how it feels. It almost feels like a part
Oh.
of you is leaving.
Right, right.
And you have to
yeah.
give away or sell or
Yeah.
dispose of
Right.
things you've had around you
Yes.
for a while.
Yeah. And one thing we do too to encourage people is get one of the digital frames and take pictures of the things that you cannot keep but still mean something to you. And then you see it as it slides through
Yes.
your house. Because I know you have one, I have
Yes.
one, and I absolutely love it. It's on our dining room table. And it has all my nieces and nephews, my grandkids, my siblings, my
Right.
mom's sister,
Yes.
and all of the family. And you're just seeing those pictures constantly, which is, to me, a blessing. It's better than having it in a photo album that you rarely open.
Right.
So we have just trips that we've taken and different things
Sure.
that we've done.
Sure.
And they're all on that
And I would
screen.
imagine if there was a dining room table that
Yeah.
you had in the family, just pictures either of the table or of people
Gathered around
gathered
it.
at the table. You can still get that feeling
Right.
of being attached to that
Yeah.
moment without it taking physical
Without having
space.
that. Yeah. So we try to encourage them quite a bit to do that.
Right.
And most of them buy in. It takes a
do?
minute, but yeah.
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 And how long are you? I know it differs on the size, but what's the time frame that this process takes typically? How does it work?
So the first client we had that we moved to a senior living community was through a company, Home Helpers, which was yours.
Okay.
And we worked with them for 90 days because they could
Wow.
only have us in the house from about 10 to 1, 2 days a week, because he was on dialysis 3 days a week.
Right.
So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we would go over from 10 to 1, because by 1, his sweet little wife was ready for a nap. And so we would work with them from 10 to 1, and then if she would go to sleep, we would have everything that we needed, and we could stay for a little while and pack everything.
Right.
But the goal was to get them to make decisions during that 3 hours,
Okay.
and then pack it, and then we would come back the next day. But that was the longest.
Wow.
And then the shortest is maybe a week to 10 days if you're just moving from a regular home
Right.
into a senior living community, or if you're moving from one home to another, we still encourage them, look at everything. Please get rid of
Right.
things you're not going to use.
Right.
It's going to cost you less money
Sure.
to move and take you way less time to unpack.
Right.
And so we try to encourage on both sides. Think about what you're taking with you so that you don't have to have it on the other side
Now,
if you
I
don't
know
use it.
once and we can talk about that in a minute,
Yeah.
how you help them reestablish themselves in their new place. But what are some of the things that moving into a community, if they choose to do that, where there are services and things like that, because they have independent living, right?
Yes.
Where
Yeah.
you basically have your own apartment inside of a bigger. Have you seen how their like daily lives change? You know,
Yes.
like I guess if you're in a 3,000 square foot home, you know, on a block versus being in a community. Have you seen? I mean, I know you you do your thing and you leave, but there must be things that you've seen how it changes their lives daily.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's one community where we work quite a bit, and we run into people in the hall.
Sure.
And they're always happy, always, you know, so glad to be there, glad they made the move. We actually talked one couple into moving early.
Oh, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, because they were, I think it was a 5 to 10 year plan, and so we went in and talked to them originally, and I said, you know, if you have the money, why are you waiting? And because they were going to have to replace a roof, they had to replace windows, they had to take on all these expenses in the house if they were going to stay. Not that they wouldn't fix it to sell it, but then if you stay 10 more years, you can pick and choose. Yeah. And then if you stay 10 more years, there's going to be more repairs that you have to do again. And so I had just moved to like a husband and wife in, and I had them meet with them, and I said, you meet with them and then you call me.
Yes.
And they call me and they're like, we're ready to move. Because they could see the benefit of the community, because it was just the two of them in their great big house, and moving in.
And I would imagine like you're in your apartment and you know you have your fridge, you have your stove or whatever, but let me go down to the the dining room. Let me see what they're serving today, or they're serving my favorite thing. You can pick and choose whether you want to participate or not.
Absolutely, and one of the things being in that same community, around 4 o'clock, they all start coming out, and they all have they'll socialize for an hour before dinner, and they all look forward to it. So it's like the highlight of their day. And they all get dressed, and they go out in the hall, and they're visiting with their friends, and then they all have dinner. And so it's just a sweet experience to see, the socialization part of it when they've come from a home where they were fine. And happy.
You don't have to wait until you need care
absolutely.
To do that.
I encourage them, go early, go enjoy your life. I mean, there's so many fun things happening in those communities. Go be part of that.
Exactly.
It's like a docked cruise ship.
It is.
It really is.
There's one up north. We're not plugging anyone particular.
No,
but there's one up north I remember walking into, and it looked like indoor cruise ship.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They had a balcony, and it was overlooking a I guess it was a waterfall, but a fountain. And just the way they had it shaped, it looked like you were walking into the lobby of a cruise ship.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I think that was intentional.
Yeah, I do too. I'm like, smart planning. Yeah, absolutely.
Now I know that you don't, I know you tell people you're a mover because you want people to understand your full scope, but a big part of what you do is the decision making prior, but then then you physically move everything, so they don't have to hire somebody else.
Right.
But what's the process for getting people settled? How does that work?
Okay, so on moving day, we'll have all the moving team come in, and they take all the furniture off the truck, put it in place. We tell them kind of where we want it set, and then they'll bring in the boxes, and then we just start unpacking everything, and we put everything away for them. We hang all the pictures and decorate it so that they can just come in and sit down and relax and go have dinner. But that's the process, is just to help them so that everything is done. And sometimes we'll put little labels on the outside of the cabinet so they know where everything is, because it's different from where it was.
Right.
And, try to make it easy for them to adjust to their new normal.
Right.
Yeah.
And so do they, is it typical that people sit down with you and say, work out the floor plan and everything, or is it something that more so that you do for them, or both, or what? So
it's actually both, and depending on where they are, because if we're helping them move from their home into a community, definitely we're all involved in the process. But we have had clients that were moving from independent living to assisted living, and they're in a healthcare situation where they can't make the decisions, but their children will help us. And so we'll talk to them on the phone, or we'll, find out again what their favorite things are, what's their favorite art, what do they, what do they do, what are their hobbies, and we make sure we take those things with us. And same thing, we unpack it, put it all back on the wall. I try to simulate it to look as much like their original apartment as possible, so that when they come in, they literally feel like it's just smaller, but they're home.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
So I'm going to just take a little pause here and plug one of our sponsors. One of our sponsors is Eagle Hollow Enterprises, and that's owned by Janelle Holloway, and she is your go-to gal for insurance. I know that she has worked tirelessly during this whole time when Medicare decisions were being made, and she doesn't charge for what she does. So she's your go-to gal, and we'll make sure that contact information is available for you if that's what you need. She also handles insurance ongoing. Yeah. So reach out to Janelle Holloway at Eagle Hollow Enterprises. And thanks, Janelle, for helping make this podcast and other education free for our viewers. So if you were able to have a wand, and with our wish group, sometimes we have a women in senior healthcare with a healthcare godmothers of healthcare, so we have a wand. But anyway, if you were to have a wand and want to just impart something that you wish everybody knew or understand about what you do, to make it easier or make it easier for you, so that the process, whatever, what would that be? What comes to mind?
Is to start now. I say that all the time. Like, you can't start too soon, because there's so many things. If you've lived in your house for 30 plus years, there's stuff in there that you have forgotten you have. And so I say start with a room you don't use. Start with a closet you're not in very often. Start with furniture in a room that you're not in, and start easy on yourself. Don't jump in and just I'm going to do this in a day. But slowly and easily, just start thinking about what you need in the event that you do downsize. And even if it's 3 or 4 years out, just to start the process of getting rid of the things you don't need anymore. And I just worked with one client that moved from a very large home into I'd say maybe 3,000 square foot home. Even still, that was still a pretty large home. But she had so many nice things, and she was selling stuff on Facebook. She had a girl that helped her sell some things. She had a coin collector come. Another gentleman that worked with.
These things take time.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you're under the gun,
absolutely,
it's not the best time to do that.
Yeah. But they went through that process, and it was really fun to watch them still be able to sell some of the things they had, recoup some of the money for it, and then move into the smaller space. So I would say any of that, and start now. You can't do it too soon.
So I guess Christmas gifts are overrated. We can just divide our things up and start giving that away.
That too. Yeah. Or give them gift cards to restaurants. Don't give stuff. That's very helpful.
I was saying, if you're downsizing, instead of buying your nephew a gift, you can just give.
Give him some of the stuff that you have. These are some of our memories.
Here.
We'd like to share with you. Absolutely. Not a bad idea. Or ask them, what's your favorite thing that I have?
Shopping.
Shop in my house. Exactly. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Good idea. Yeah.
Well, how do people reach you? We're going to have your information there, but we only have about 30 seconds.
Oh,
okay. How do people reach you?
Wow, it goes fast.
Yes.
So mainly by phone. If you'll just call me, it's 901-488-9733. I'd love to talk to you.
Leanne Morris with All Things New.
Thank you.